Rocking now. Vandeham Sri Guru Tiyutapatugamaram Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Sa Sri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagunara Gunadam Dam Dam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Tiratha Krishna Padanza Ganolalita Sri Visakhan Vitamsa Ayanazimirandasya Yanandana Salakaya Jakshuru Milidam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namah Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Putale Srimati Bhakti Vaibhava Puri Goswaminiti Namine Gauravani Pajaraya Tatta Sankalpamurtaye Krishna Shakti Swarupaya Sri Bhakti Padayane Namah Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Putale Srimati Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Dinamine Devasabhanavi Devi Jayadaya Kripadaya Krishna Sambandha Vikyana Jaine Prabhupada Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipalambara Sambhode Padam Bhujayati Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchitanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarubhaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Vibhava Pumestam Yajasta Sajana Priya Vaishnav Savabhoma Si Jagannath Jayate Namah Manchakalpatarubhyasam Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Jam Bhadidhanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Namo Bhutandaya Krishna Prema Padayade Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauriche Namo He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namaste Sabda Kanjana Gauranga Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Jayadam Surajo Pangumamamandamate Agati Madhavasya Vadam Bojo Sirada Madhvanamo Divya Dvindaranya Kalpa Tumada Simadadnagara Simhasanastu Tisirada Sila Govinda Devo Vastali Vise Brahmano Smarami Imanara Sarasaram Vivamsi Bharadhastita Gashan Venu Svanai Gopiya Gopinata Sriyestunam Vrindai Tulasi Devai Priyayai Kesamasya Vishnu Bhakti Paridevi Satyavidai Namo Namah Panchadotvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Svarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Ramam Bhakti Shaktikam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadha, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Madho Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Gidivadadadi Gopijana Vallabha Gidivadadadi Yashoda Nandana Raja Jana Ranjano Yashoda Nandana Raja Jana Ranjano Yamuna Dhira Banatari Yamuna Dhira Banatari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Gidivadadadi Gidivadadadi Yashoda Nandana Raja Jana Ranjano Yashoda Nandana Raja Jana Ranjano Yamuna Dira Banachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Jai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Okay, Maharaj, kann ich die wieder haben da? Die mit dem Zettel dran. In case. There's any topic you're interested to hear, spiritual topic. We'll go around any time. Not enough manas? No. It's later. So anything I can speak of. Otherwise, I would try to that we try to hear from the chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. There are the three modes of described Dhamaguna, Rajaguna, Shataguna. So if there's no, then we may hear. The Krishna said, Bhagavan Uvaja, again I will speak the highest knowledge among all types of knowledge. By knowing which all the sages attain the highest perfection. So in the 14th chapter, the bondage caused by the gunas and the symptoms are described. The many symptoms of the disappearance of the gunas and the cause of disappearance. Bhakti is also described. In the previous chapter, it was described that the contact of the jiva with the body made of gunas is the cause of his taking repeated births. Karamam gunasangosya sat asat yoni janmasu. What types of results come from contact with the gunas? What are the symptoms of those associated with the gunas? How is one liberated from the gunas? In anticipation of these questions, the Lord promises to speak about the above topics while praising them. Knowledge here means teachings by which one gains knowledge. So in Shloka 2 is Krishna is speaking. Those who, taking shelter of this knowledge, have attained a form like mine, do not attain rebirth in this world, and do not experience pain at the time of death. So one who is hearing or understanding this knowledge, Gunadvaya Vibhaga Yoga, the three gunas, he will not attain rebirth in this world and do not experience pain at the time of death. So Srila Vishwanath says, he who has taken shelter of this knowledge and attained liberation of sarupya, similarly of form with mind, sadharmyam, does not experience pain at the time of death. The form yatavayanti is used instead of yatayante, atmanebharam. So he attains a form like mine, Krishna says. A form is, Krishna's form is not made of flesh and blood. Krishna's form is eternal, has no beginning, no end. His form is not visible with our eyes, with our senses. We cannot catch him, we cannot see him, we cannot understand him. But if you understand this knowledge, or take shelter of this knowledge, to understand the gunas, what are the gunas, then you will attain a form like mine, he says. Also a form who has no beginning, no end, who is transcendental. So in the third shloka he says, the great expanse called Prakriti is my womb. So this womb is, Prakriti means the nature. The great expanse called Prakriti, this material nature is an expansion of the Supreme Lord. He has created. And it is like the womb of a female. In that womb, I place the seed in the form of all jivas. So it is like, his nature is like a womb. And the Lord puts the seed in the form of all jivas. So jivas take shelter in this external energy, and the birth of all beings comes from that, a descendant of Parada. And we may identify with what we can see in this world. We will become addicted to enjoy this Prakriti. So Krishna, all the spiritual baths what's coming from him, they enter this atmosphere where they get covered by the three gunas, Dhamma-guna, Rajaguna, Sataguna. In order to explain how the contact with the gunas through beginningless ignorance creates bondage, the Lord speaks about the method of appearance, of the field, and knower of the field. My place, Supreme Lord's place of impregnation is Prakriti, called Mahat, because it extends of all place and time continuously. It is called Brahma, because it is the cause of increase. In some Shruti texts, Prakriti is referred to as a Brahma. I place the seed, Garbha, within the Prakriti. The Lord said, Idas Tvanyam Prakritim Vidime, Param Jiva Bhutam. Know this other Prakriti of mine, which is superior and which gives rise to the jivas. From this, it is understood that there is a mass of consciousness. The jiva prakriti, which is called the Yatashta Shakti. This is called the seed, Garbha, because it is given life to all beings. So consciousness is implanted into this. That's because he is also called Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. He lays in an ocean and creates the jivas, part and parcels, emanate from him, and enter to the darker region, material world. Then tatha, from my action of placing the seeds, Jiva Shakti, in the Prakriti, the appearance of all the entities such as Brahma and other takes place. So from there, the different forms they are created by Brahma, the jivas take shelter. And they forget where they are coming from. This is how in simple words, the creation is explained. Sarvayonishu kaundya mutaya sambhavandiya desham brahma mahadyoni ahim bijapadavita. Then Krishna says to Arjuna, a son of Kundi, Prakriti is the mother, like this material nature is the mother. It is the womb where. And I am the father of all forms that arise in all wombs in this world, in this universe. So because the consciousness, the jivatmas, these are parts coming from the transcendental world, to the Dashta Shakti. So Prakriti Mahadharma is the place of birth, Yoni, the mother, of all those forms of moving and non-moving creatures, which appear in all wombs from devas to grass. And I am the giver of the seed. I am the father, the giver of the seed, the giver of the jivas. So this means jivatma or soul. This is the seed. We are moving because this jiva or this part of consciousness is entering the bodies from the grass up to the demigods, up to Brahma. And it appears we will continue. It will be explained what happened. Sattvam rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhava. Nibatnanan anantina mahabaho dehinam avyam. The gunas of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas arising from Prakriti bind the unchanging Jiva in his body. Almighty Armed One. So these gunas, ignorance, passion, and goodness arising from the external Prakriti nature. And they bind the unchanging Jiva in his body. And they enter one body of 8,400,000 species of life. One, they enter and they identify with this. So the mother of all those found moving and non-moving creatures which appear in all wombs from the devas to grass, and I am the giver of the seed. I am the father, the giver of the seed, the giver of the jivas. So in this way, we could understand on this point that there's some difference between body and the jiva and what I call me. I am a jiva, I am a spirit, soul. I am consciousness. This is my original nature. So I enter and I identify with whatever I feel attracted to in this material world. And I forget my identity. My reality, or our reality is that we have been before and we will we will live in the future when this body is gone. So all this prakriti or nature, it is this temporary. And the identification with the body is also temporary. It is an illusion. After the Lord has described the appearance of all the living entities through Prakriti, Mother, and Purusha, Father, how are the gunas to be described? What type of bondage arises for the jivas from association with these gunas? This verse answers these questions. In the body, the product of Prakriti, the gunas bind up the jiva, the hinam, situated there by identification with it. So he binds us, we are like in a prison in this body, or the body we are just may get in future and we had in the past. We identify, and this is something like a prison, because we do not understand that our original nature is we are not part of the Prakriti, the material nature. We are part of the spiritual nature. Spiritual means no beginning, no end, eternal. The body, the product of Prakriti, the gunas bind up the jiva, situated there by identification with it. To the association with the gunas arising from beginningless ignorance, even though the jiva actually is without change, svayayam, and not attached. So originally consciousness or jiva is not attached to matter. But through the influence of the gunas, we will now describe what the different gunas, what the qualities they have. The darshatvam nimalaitvat pragajakam anamayam sukha sangena panati yan sangena janaga. The mode of sattva, sattva means goodness, which is peaceful and gives knowledge, binds the jiva with false conception of happiness and knowledge of sinless one. So even this Shataguna, the highest mood, a guna in the material world, she will bind us. How? Because in this, when we are living peaceful and knowledgeable, it binds the jiva with false conception of happiness and knowledge. Hare Krishna. So those who are in the mode of Shataguna, they experience some kind of happiness. But they are thinking this is the goal, this kind of happiness, going to the heavenly planet and getting knowledge how things are, how to attain mystic powers or on all these things. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti describes or gives a commentary on this. His verse describes how Shatagun binds the jiva. It is without distress, anamayam, or peaceful. The association of the jiva with happiness, which is the product of peacefulness, and the association of the jiva with knowledge, which is the product of illumination, prakashakam, produce the misidentity of I am happy, I am learned. Thus, from happiness and knowledge, whose quality is to produce these designations, from the ignorance, the jiva develops his misconception of himself. This binds him. So, O pure one, do not accept impurity in the form of such misconception of I am happy or I am learned. More? Yes, okay. Is there any question up to this point? Yes. Everything is there's nothing the same. And in the same time, everything is the same. Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. We are all individual living beings. We are different parts of the whole transcendental body of the Lord. So every part of the body has a different function and different purpose or different attraction. In the same way, our relation to Lord is unlimited, yeah, but there's not the same. In the same time, it is the same because we are one with Him, one and different. This Mahaprabhu telling Chindia, it is very difficult to understand that we are one with Him and in the same time different from Him. Because we have separated now. We are living so-called separate life. We have forgotten Him. Now for us, God is God. God in German or in the slang here, we say good. So if I would say, I give you 1 or 10 million euro, you can choose God or the money. What would you choose? So we are, we know now why we are here in this world. We have chosen the good or the money. Oh, the money is not one expression, means enjoyment. We want to enjoy. We want to enjoy, separate from the whole. Or another 10,000 euro and you never touch a handy again. Never people do this. So attached we are here in this material world. So and so different also we are. There are different modes. Some are living in the mode of goodness. Some, this we will hear now, living in the mode of passion. What their characteristics are, we can hear, and then we can see what we are mainly controlled by what guna. But the gunas are never, they're always changing. Sometimes tamaguna, sometimes raja, sometimes little goodness, or mixing up. So this is, there's unlimited different moods are there. So this makes us different. So we are living under the influence of the gunas and develop different characters and different desires to enjoy in this world. But in another sense, we are one with Him because we are coming from Him and we are still with Him, but we have forgotten who we are. Now we think our universe is now like this. We see it. So we are one with Him and we are different with Him. When we have one with Him, then when we are fit, then we will speak about this. How about the relation? Because this is called Yoga Maya. Krishna is not someone, some energy. He's a person. He has unlimited pastimes he performs, like Vrindavan pastime. He's manifesting himself as a boy, cowboy. When he appears as Ram, he is a great king. Sometimes he appears as half lion, half human, Nishinga. And he has so many feel attracted to this mood. Some feel attracted to Ram, some to Narayan, Lakshmi Narayan, or Vishnu. So many different moods, but all transcendental. All, there's no matter there. They have no birth, no death, or disease, or old age. This is eternal. We are eternally connected. I, let me just imagine if a newcomer hears this. But how much he can catch. On the next shloka, he says, I just continue. So, at the gunas are explained. The son of Kundi, know the Raja, consisting of pleasure, giving rise to longing for unattained and attachment to the attained. Binds the jiva with attachment to action. Now I think it's difficult to catch your mind. O son of Kundi, know that Raja, consisting of pleasure, giving rise to longing for the unattained and attachment to the attained, binds the jiva with attachment to action. Any question we can? There's some. Yes. Yes. It is binding also, Shatagun binding us in this world. And what is the, why we are bound to this material world? Because some kind of happiness we experience there in the mode of goodness. And knowledge we will get a bigger understanding of the whole. This kind of Brahminical qualities, if one develops this, he lives in knowledge and he experiences some happiness. But this happiness, this binds him, and this kind of knowledge. For example, those who are learned, very learned, for them it's very difficult to accept something new because they think, I have studied, I am a doctor, I am an academic, I am this. So I know already. It's very difficult to tell the truth to them because they think they know it already. So it is very, they are bound by this. They may have a comfortable life, earn a lot of money, but they have problems, many problems they carry with them. This is a reality. Don't think if you are academic and you are learned that you are experience happiness. This is no guarantee. Money you cannot. What they say? What is the excuse? But at least we don't have to be afraid that we are starving or something like this. Or this is your goal. Then we have to go to see other countries. Happiness cannot be attained by knowledge, and also not real happiness, and by the living in the mode of goodness, because you become attached to this and you're again separated from your real form, rupa, or transcendental person. That you forget that we are transcendental person. So we want to enjoy this world and take birth again. This binds us. If we live in the mode of goodness. So the rajas, the next consisting of pleasure, giving rise to longing for the unattained, and attachment to the attained, binds the jiva with attachment to actions. And those who are business people, who are very enthusiastic, want to build up something. This is rajas. They want to attain something whenever attained. Others attain, they want to be running for name, fame, profit. Know that Rajaguna consists of attachment, ragatmakam. When one does not obtain one's desired object, one develops desire, trishna, and when one obtains one object, one develops attachment. So even if you attain something, then you get very attached to this. Rajaguna gives rise to this too. Rajaguna binds up the soul by attachment to actions in quest of present and future goals. So attachment to action arises by desire and attachment, trishna, and sangha. So those who are going for this money and building up big companies, they are very attached to their actions, and there is no end. If they have 1 billion euro, they want 10 billion, unless they feel unhappy. And they get all this fulfilled, but they cannot buy. Happiness you cannot buy with money. They're always afraid somebody takes it away from them. This is mode of passion. And what is Tama? Tamaguna. Know the Tama which produces ignorance, which causes confusion for all living beings, binds the jiva with inattention, laziness, and sleep. So this is a sign of Tama. Sometimes somebody has experienced
Sleeping
Yes. One cannot harm anyone, at least. Such laziness and sleep. If tamas dvagyana yam means tamaguna rising from ignorance, then Dhammaguna would appear to arise from its own result. Since Dhammaguna produces ignorance, therefore the meaning of ajnana yam must be that Dhammaguna produces ignorance. Mohanam means confusion or error. Pramada means inattention. Alasya means lack of effort. Nidra means sleep. So arising from lack of energy in the consciousness. So those who are lazy and always find shelter in sleeping, this is one sign or two signs of Tamagun. There are much more. They are described in the Shastras. Is Maharaj already here? So I'm now another day, maybe we can hear more from the modes of material nature. Any comments or anything? Any other question? Oh. You on the way. You're sitting here in temple and hearing this and not running away. So many. So you will never forget. Maybe you forget for sometimes for life. If you make mistakes, big mistakes. But these things will always stay with us. It is like this material world becomes like a sweet rice, kheer, with a little scent inside. Very sweet, very nice, tasty, but this scent. So material nature becomes like this after enjoyment. You know you should not do it, but you do it anyway. And one day we will realize, we will understand. We will get up to goodness, Shataguna, and from there is the next step is Shuddha Sattva. It means that we are getting freed, we're getting moksha. We are realizing that this kind of pleasure we experience in this world is not worth the price I pay for this. Working so much, 60 years, 60, 70 years old, and then you think, when I'm vengeance, I will enjoy. Then wait when you're 65, how much you will enjoy. All these things is Maya. This is all what they are, what material nature or the illusion is promising us. In future, I will enjoy. Did I answer your question? Okay, then we can stop here. You wanted to? Friend? From the mind. Now you're a slave of your mind. Whatever the mind tells you, you say, yes, my dear. I will go. We are servants of the mind. He is the master. He tells us what to think. The eyes, first the eyes, then the mind says, of course, yes, enjoy. But where are you? So you have to convince your mind that he has to follow you, that you have to follow the mind. Then Bhagavad Gita, you wanted to say, he says, the mind is our greatest enemy because he is putting us in these situations where there is no future. There's only a mundane conception of life. So you have to become the master of your mind. Go Swami, it's called. Go means senses, and Swami means the master of the senses. Then your mind will become the friend. He will help you. He will support you. This is what yoga means. Yoga means first you have to learn how to control or tolerate your mind, not being swept away by his ideas, and you are just running and fulfilling the mind's desire. Then he is master. The mind is your enemy, it's called, because he doesn't care how you feel. He just wants to enjoy. And when you say, no, my dear mind, sorry, I have to chant my rounds first. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And the mind says, I'll do later or tomorrow. Then say, sorry, we have to finish first my rounds, then I will hear you, then we can discuss. Then the mind will get tired. Okay. You convince him. This is not you, the mind. It's an energy. You are a slave of the mind. So this means he is an enemy because he wants to enjoy at any price. He doesn't care for you. This is another sign. But we cannot enter today these things. Try to learn to become master of your mind, of your senses. Then you become very powerful person. All things are very clear. You can understand how things are working in this world. Okay, thank you very much. Excuse me if I did something wrong, some words. I did not want to offend anyone. Jai Sri Gurudev Nitya Leela Pavistam Vishnu Pamad Paramahamsa